Hi, Jules.
Hi, Kev.
How are you?
I'm peachy.
Peachy, that's awesome. Welcome back, everybody, to Scripts and Giggles. This is episode 5.
Five.
5. I'm losing count already. 5. We made it to 5.
We made it to 5.
Yes.
What did you find out? Tell our listeners what
Uh,
you found out about episode 3.
What did I find out about
Oh my
episode?
gosh, Kevin. Most podcasts don't make it past episode 3.
Oh, yeah. I believe 500 million different podcasts, and most do not make it past episode 3 for various reasons.
Right.
So they say if you make it to episode 4, then you are in the majority.
We're
And
now in the
so
majority.
we are in the majority, and this is episode 5. And again, we want to thank you all for your support and for listening. And we do ask you to continue to like, share, subscribe. Please visit our YouTube channel, Skripts-N Giggles.
Yes.
Our Facebook group, Skripts-N Giggles. We also have
Spotify,
and we have an Instagram that we're still working on trying to get reels and stories put up there.
Yes.
So please help us. And again, we would not be doing this and we would not be here without your support.
Well, we'd be here.
Well, we'd be here, but we wouldn't be on here.
Right.
Yes. And
Yes.
everything. So, yeah. Anything exciting this week?
Nothing too earth-shattering. Just enjoying time with Burdette and sparking, dashing,
Making money.
making money.
Making
Money, money, money. I do want to give a shout out to my friend Marcia. She'll love this. She messaged me last night and said, "So what's this talk show you're doing?"
Talk show. Talk show. We're Oprah. Now, use some of Oprah's money.
And I told her we both wanted to do a podcast, told her how it started, and she's like, "Oh, okay, podcast. That's the word I was looking for."
Maybe one day we might get a talk show.
Right.
That would be cool.
So shout out to Marcia, and thanks for listening and sharing and
Yes.
all that good stuff.
And support. So yes. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit today. It actually goes with my week.
Okay.
And of what do you do when you are hurt or betrayed by a friend? Yes, when you're hurt and betrayed by a friend, what do you do?
Cry
Yes,
first.
at first. And I would like to hear, for our listeners, please comment wherever you're, if you're in the Facebook group or on YouTube or whatever. We'd like to hear.
Or on Spotify.
On Spotify, they can comment on there too.
Yep.
Yeah, she's the tech whiz. I'm learning things, but she's the one that does all that. She's tech savvy.
I'm the techie.
I went to Staples one time, and I do like little gadgets and things, and so I was buying something I can't even remember, and the checkout person says, "Well, you're one of those." What did she say? Gadget geeks. And I go, "Well, what do you mean?" She goes, "Well, you like the little gadgets and stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, I like things that make my life easier." That's why I do like technology. With anything, there's good and there's, bad sides to it. It can be overused and abused. I do like anything that makes our life simpler.
It's fun.
I have a motto that I use. I'm not lazy. I just like easy. So it's like whatever makes my life easier and
Need to get you an easy button.
yeah, an easy button. But my life's never easy.
I know.
Yeah, a car update. Still don't have my car. And so I talked to the mechanic and he had it all put back together Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
as you guys are listening to this, so it would be last Tuesday.
Yeah.
And he had it all put back together. He said it was purring like a kitten and he let it run for about 20 minutes and turned it off. He was getting ready to call me, tell me to come pick it up. And then he said he looked underneath the car and he says it's leaking antifreeze. So he has to now take it all back apart to find out what the
Why?
problem is and why it's leaking antifreeze. And he said, "Kevin, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all." And I said, "No, it's because you're working on my car. That's why." It's, previous episodes I talked about the more curse. And I'm like, yeah, that's why. And nothing ever is easy when it goes with me.
What's the Charlie Brown character that has the cloud of dirt?
Pigpen.
Yes, Pigpen.
Pigpen always has that storm of
He has the cloud following him.
dirt, hovering over him. That's me. If things could go wrong, will go wrong. It's just how it is. But at my age, you just go with it.
Yeah, go with the flow.
What else? Just pray and God provides. And
Well, just think when you get your car back, it'll be
right. I'm praying it'll
supreme.
be like a new car,
That's right.
like with a rebuilt engine.
Yes. Can
So-
he clean it and detail it and stuff too, so that you feel like you have a new car again?
Yeah, I do like that. I hate a messy car. It drives me insane.
I put a sticker over my tire pressure thing. Remember we were talking about that?
Oh yeah, or
Our tire pressure sensor lights are stuck on even though we don't have a problems. I saw his and he's like, "Yeah, I put a sticker over mine so I don't have to look anymore." So I just put a sticker over mine.
yeah, I put
I was getting tired of it.
I put black tape over it.
Yeah, mine's
Oh my
prettier.
gosh, I'm trying to get comfortable. We're all crammed in
We
here.
are in a tiny
Tiny.
little office.
Yeah, with
No, we started out in a box at the library and it was very echoey, but we moved to Kevin and Nettie's house and we do a podcast in your office
yes.
and it's like this big. If it ever
We're
looks like we're
surrounded-
scrunched in here.
You might have saw in previous episodes. Might have saw a bookshelf behind me. That's just one.
Yeah, that's
And
just
we're
one.
just surrounded. Well, we're back in the library, really,
Yeah, we are, but at
because we're
least
surrounded by books and
but it's a library where we can go and
get
take a snap break and
exactly more comfortable and we're trying. We got a new background.
yeah,
It's
good.
And so we try to do the green screen, and I don't know,
A couple people said that they got
like nauseous,
like distracted by parts of
seasick.
our bodies missing. Yeah,
Yeah,
as we talked.
We was disappearing.
Yes.
We ought to do magic tricks.
Yeah, we tried. We tried to start our episode like this. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Jules. How are you?
Because with the green screen, when we did that, we completely
We
disappeared.
completely disappear.
But our editing software just cut that out altogether. And it was good. It was fun.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways,
No car.
no car, and oh, I miss my car. I miss my little Barry. It was it's a
You named him Barry?
named him Barry. And
Well, I
it's
named
red.
mine.
and-
Mine's
yeah,
Sable May.
Sable Maid.
So
Yeah.
I can't say a whole lot.
Does anybody else you name your cars or anything like that? Let us know. If it's sometimes like when you're going up a hill and it's not doing the best, and
Yeah, you just
you're like,
sort of
oh,
say it.
come on,
It's
Barry.
okay,
you know,
Sable.
or come on, Sable, Betsy, whatever. But is that just Maine or West Virginia and Ohio?
Yeah, I'm in West Virginia, but I'm from Ohio. So
Yeah.
it might be an Ohio thing. I don't
Anybody listening around the world or in a different city, maybe
Yep.
well, they take they may not even have cars. Meaning that they take other transportation, not that they don't have
know.
cars.
Oh, like in
They
New
take-
York City, you wouldn't
Yes,
necessarily
they
have
take
a car.
other
Okay.
not to be like people don't know what a car
What do you
is.
think people here don't
Don't know
they
what
still drive horse and buggy
what's a car?
if they don't live here?
And everything. It's like no, but no, they might have subways or
Trains,
trains,
planes, automobiles.
automobiles.
Yes.
and things. So bring us back to what do you do when you are hurt by a friend
After you cry.
after you cry?
Well, my first answer should be pray, but that hasn't always been the case.
Right.
And there are times that I've had to walk away from friendships because of the betrayal and realize that those friendships weren't good for me. I think early in my life, a betrayal from a friend was devastating. And then it went to shocking and devastating. And I think now it's like, I should have known not to trust them, I keep my circle small these days and don't share anything you wouldn't want anybody else to know. And don't count on anybody but God and yourself, really, is how I feel.
Yeah.
Of course, my spouse now. But what about you?
Well, I've been, as anybody, can say they've been hurt, by friends. I'm sure we've all experienced that. And some people might be asking, well, what was the, betrayal? And I do think that is important too. Like if it's a friend, and Lord forbid, if it's with your spouse, or I mean, I know that's extreme, but it's happened. Or a friend that you thought you trusted and they stole from you. Or how about someone that took advantage of you, that was using you? So all of these are examples of being hurt and betrayed by a friend. And I am one that loyalty is a big thing to me.
Me too.
Like having a loyal friend. And I have had friends that I've shared something with, and then I found out later that they shared that information. And then I went back and I confronted him, and I'm like, why did you repeat that? Why did you say, well, you didn't tell me not to? It's a given.
Right.
If it's something personal and if it's something private,
And I was confiding in you.
and I was confiding in you, that, that's to me a given. And here's something else I want to say too. And you tell me what you think.
Okay.
If you was to stop at our little store down here
Mhm.
where I live, was talking to somebody and they're like, oh, hi, you're from around here? No, I'm out here doing a podcast with a friend of mine,
Right.
and told, my name, and they started talking bad about me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, he's this, he's that. Would you tell me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm the opposite.
Mm.
And here's why. This is my big thing. Because I've had people come to me and they're like, oh, I bumped in somewhere and these people were talking about you and this is what they said and blah, blah, blah. Now I know that some people can look at it as, well, I'm being loyal, I'm telling you, as a
Right.
friend. But I look at it as, what good does that bring the person?
True.
Like, if you're gonna go and share what they said, it was all negative, then I just think it's not bringing anything encouraging, it's not bringing anything edifying, anything uplifting, and again, it's a person's view or opinion. My thing that I ask the person that tells me is, "What did you say?"
That's what I was just gonna say. See, I
Mm.
would want you to tell me. I'm the opposite. I would want you to tell me if somebody said something about me negative, but I would also back that up with what did you say to defend me?
Absolutely.
To clear that up.
Right.
And I've been in a situation like that before where a friend was telling me, that these women that she worked with that didn't know me, they knew who I was, but they didn't know me, talking about details of my life and my finances.
Oh my, that's very personal.
This friend knew the truth and knew that what they were saying wasn't true. And when I asked her, well, did you tell them, blah, blah, blah? She at first said, well, I just didn't know what to say. But then later, when I said, but I need to know what you said to defend me because you're my friend and you know the truth. And then she claimed that she had said that. Well, it was too late at that
Right.
point. I knew you already admitted
Yeah,
that
like
you hadn't said
backpedaling.
anything, and
Yeah.
now you're realizing you got called out on it
Mhm.
and you should have defended me.
Mm.
That was one of the friendships I had to walk away from because it just got to be too much, too often. But I look at it like when I was going through my first divorce, especially, there were a lot of assumptions, and there were times that my close friend group would start to say something and then stop. And I'm like, no, let me tell you about me. I will never, unless it's like about my kids or something, I will never go to them and say, I heard you said this about me and, and rip them a new one. I will never do that. But I need to know who can I trust and who can I not. So if they're saying something about me that's untrue and you've stood up for me, then go ahead and tell me because I know when I see that person again, I'm still going to be nice. I'm still going to be cordial. I'm still going to say, hey, how you doing? But I know that I can't trust you now.
Yeah, now
And I like to have that information.
yeah, but I've had people tell me the negative things that the person has said, and I've asked, "Well, what did you say?"
Right.
"Oh, I didn't say
Right.
I didn't say nothing."
Right.
So
So,
then why are you bringing this to me?
right.
That was my thing. Why are you bringing this? Because
Right.
it's hurtful. And listen, we all have our own insecurities. My goodness. We have our insecurities about the way we look. We have insecurities how we think people feels about we all have our insecurities.
Yes.
So then when somebody brings something negative to you like that, it can trigger an insecurity.
Right.
My thing would be what I would try to do if I heard somebody talking negative about you, and I would definitely stick up. But I'm not just saying this because this has recently happened. Somebody was talking about a friend of mine, and it actually was a work situation, and was talking negative about my other friend. And I'm like, well, listen, I said, I'm not gonna have. And I'm like, when I worked with this person, they was good. They was a good employee. They was a good friend. They
Mhm.
helped me, did things for me. And I'm like, I'm not gonna have you talk negative.
Right.
And then the person said, well, maybe it's me. And I said, well, maybe it
Well,
is.
maybe it is.
That's exactly what I said. I'm
Good.
like, well, maybe it is because I never had that problem with this person. But if I heard somebody talking negative about you, if I did not know them, like I was saying with the situation, start
Right.
down at the little store and I would say, oh, I'm sorry. I introduce myself and say, and what's your name? Now, if I thought it was again very hurtful, and I would be like, oh, Julie Howe.
Right.
Now, and then I would ask, me, I ask a lot, talk a lot, and ask a lot of questions. I would be like, you're supposed to be my friend. See, there's a betrayal.
But he knows it.
She just betrayed me. No, I do. I own it. Um, but it's like, well, how do you know her? When was the last time you spoke with her? So I would get the person's name.
Mhm.
Now, if me and you was talking and you said, oh, hey, I have this friend, and you said the person's name, and you'd be like, oh, they was a really good friend. And I'm like,
Maybe not so much.
Julie, you might need to rethink that.
Yeah.
And
But me and my inquisitive self, I'd be like, why?
well, then I'd probably tell you.
Okay.
Because then if you then are thinking and telling me that this person's a good friend and everything,
Right.
I'll be like, no, they're not.
No, not really.
That's what I would tell you.
Yeah.
But I still want to share
No,
I mean, I would,
I know what you
but I
mean.
wouldn't wanna tell you if it's negative because I don't wanna hurt you.
And I would probably hold back, and I probably have at times, like, held back stuff so that I wasn't hurting my friend. But at the same time, I might tell them enough, like you just said, to be like, "You might not wanna
Exactly.
trust this person
Person
because
as
I
much
know
as
you
you.
better, and I know that's not true, and this is what they're saying about you."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, what does the scripture say about friends? And so I looked up a few verses here, and so we're gonna share them, and then we'll break it down and we'll talk about them.
Break it down.
Break it down. Oh, we need some rap music in the back. So, or like somebody to bust a beat. Yeah, we
Me and
need.
my old lady
Now, see,
glasses.
once we start getting, some money, whatever, we can maybe get, what is that mixer? They
Yeah,
call it a mixer and
yeah.
all
But
that.
you know what? That's not ever gonna happen unless you follow, like, subscribe, share. Putting in a plug.
But you know what she's not plugging? Her book that she wrote. She's not plugging her book. You'd have to go to episode, what is it, one or two?
1 or 2, yeah.
One or two to find out about
Wrote a
writing
book.
the book. So that's cool. All right, you want to read it? This is Psalms 41 is what we're going to start reading out of the Amplified.
Okay. You want me to read it?
Yes, please.
All right. Blessed by God's grace and compassion is he who considers the helpless. The Lord will save him in the day of trouble. The Lord will protect him and keep him alive, and he will be called blessed in the land. You do not hand him over to the desire of his enemies. The Lord will sustain and strengthen him on his sickbed. In his illness, you will restore him to health. As for me, I said, Lord, be gracious to me. Heal my soul, for I have sinned against you. My enemies speak evil of me, saying, when will he die and his name perish? And when one comes to see me, he speaks empty words, while his heart gathers malicious gossip against me. When he goes away, he tells it everywhere. All who hate me whisper together about me. Against me they devise my hurt, imagining the worst for me, saying a wicked thing is poured out upon him and holds him. And when he lies down, he will not rise up again. Even my close friend in whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has lifted up his heel against me, betraying me. But you, O Lord, be gracious to me and restore me to health, so that I may repay them. But this I know, that you favor and delight in me, because my enemy does not shout and triumph over me. As for me, you uphold me in integrity. You set me in your presence forever. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting, from this age to the next and forever. Amen
Amen,
and
amen.
amen. So be it.
Psalms 41 verses 1 through 13. Again, we talked, what was it, last podcast or the episode 4, episode 3 was talking about how do we know if the Bible's true.
Mm.
When I was in high school, I'd go to the Psalms a
Mhm.
lot because I was picked on and bullied a lot. And as I was reading through the Psalms, and this is a perfect example,
Mhm.
is wow, here is like, who cannot relate to this
Right.
is what I'm saying. If
Right.
you have been hurt and betrayed by a friend, or let me just tell you, not even necessarily a friend, it could be a spouse, it could be a parent, it could be somebody that you really thought you could trust
Mhm.
and everything like that. So we are talking about friends today, but it could be anybody
Right.
you thought you had a connection with, or,
Right.
a deep friendship or whatever the relationship was. Wanted to break this down a little bit. Verses 1 through 4. I love how he starts it out. He actually starts it out with acknowledging God as his,
Mhm.
protector and his provider. Verse 3, the Lord will sustain and strengthen him on his sick bed and his illness. You will restore my health. Heal my soul, for I have sinned. It's almost like a prayer,
Mhm.
because it's how we should go to the Lord in prayer. Even actually, it's called the Lord's Prayer, but actually it's the disciples' prayer,
Right.
because the disciples asked Jesus, Lord, teach us to pray.
Right.
And then Jesus gave them that example.
Right.
But he starts it out with, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy
Mhm.
kingdom come, thy Lord, thy will be done. So you started out with a praise, you start out with acknowledgement, you start
Right.
out with worship. This is what I
It's
love a lot of the Psalms, because he opens it up this way, and then he goes into more or less his lament, lament,
lament.
lament.
Envelope.
Yes.
Sorry.
God's love just envelopes us. I probably shouldn't have said that, should I?
It's okay.
Sorry. Anyways, of how we get tongue tied sometimes when we speak. So I've done it many times. So he starts. Your face is red.
It's probably because I'm hot. The fan went off. Okay.
It starts it off, and then it goes into his
Lament.
lament. Okay. Making sure I said that right. Of what he is experiencing and what is he going through. And of course, here it is a betrayal, obviously, by a friend. And then he goes in and starts in verse 5. My enemies speak evil of me, saying, when will he die and his name perish? Now, I'm not necessarily saying that our friends or maybe some of our enemies might want us to die.
Right.
Be like, when are they going to die and kill over? But it's showing here that they're like, oh, we just want the worst for, for the David. I believe David wrote this one. There's some Psalms others wrote.
Right.
And then it goes on and says in verse 6, and when one comes to see me, he speaks empty words. Again, I'm going to stop right there. Now, of course, who comes to mind is Job, when his alleged, or
Friend.
what I call fair-weathered friends. And isn't that what happens sometimes, even when you're going through something, a hard time, whatever, a trial, a storm, a heartache, a pain, and then you have so-called friends that come in and they bring empty words. I had one pastor share with me, and I definitely took it, and gleaned from it, learned from it, was he said, when we're going through something, we should always go up for help, not out. Now, what does that mean? And I asked him, and I'm like, what does that mean? And he's like, well, when you're seeking help, you're seeking wisdom, you're seeking good advice, you should look for someone that is wiser than you, especially if you're a believer and you want to look to a mentor or someone that is knowledgeable in the scriptures, but you want to go up to get the advice and everything instead of going out. And what he was also saying was, go to social media and air your problems out. And here's the problem with that, and I see it all the time. If you go on there and you say, my coworker thinks that I am a worthless, lazy dog and everything, what do you guys think? You're going to get over 500 different opinions.
Right.
Okay? People telling you, don't care what they think or whatever, which that could be good advice. People say, well, maybe you are a dog, maybe you are worthless. That's what it means by going out. Go up.
You're not that. And maybe they are. Maybe they're really lazy at work.
Right.
You don't know, but you're just saying that to make them feel better.
And that's another thing I tell my friends, because people that know me, my friends, I am just straightforward. I'll just tell you. I mean, if there's something going on in your life or there's something I see wrong or whatever, I'm like, I'm just going to tell you. And I ask them, though, the same thing for me.
Right.
Because I don't want a bunch of yes friends around me that's just, blowing smoke to me to make me feel good. No, if I'm doing something wrong, if we're going out in public and maybe I was a little rude to the server at the restaurant or to the cashier or something like that, I want somebody to be like, Kevin, that wasn't
very nice.
that wasn't good.
Yeah.
That wasn't good. But I want friends to tell me, to point out my fault. We have to have friends that we can be accountable to, and that also that would call us out on our faults. It's as the Bible says, iron sharpening iron.
Right. And you don't have to do it in a hurtful way.
No, you do it with love.
Right. Do it with love.
Exactly. And that's what I try to do too. But it's, I want friends around that tells me the truth. And so verse 6 talks about, we can have friends that brings empty words or can even make you feel worse and stuff. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of your friends. Always go up for help and for advice instead of going out, meaning seek higher level, seek higher ground.
And ultimately seek the highest ground.
Absolutely.
I don't know how many times I've just asked God, show me what to do. And I open his word or a song comes on the radio that is just like, okay, I know what to do now.
Absolutely.
He speaks to me through that.
Oh, many times.
And sometimes we just need someone with skin on. So it's okay to talk to someone about what's going on, but he's our ultimate.
Oh, he's the first one that we should go to.
Right.
It's seeking up, looking to the word like we're doing here. When a lot of people says, the Bible's outdated, it's not relevant for today. It's like, I don't know how, my goodness. I mean, I don't even know how many times I've read the Bible through, but it's every time you
get something new.
Yeah, you gain something, glean something new from it. So in verse 6, continuing, so it says, and when he comes to see me, he speaks empty words, while his heart gathers malicious gossip against me. When he goes away, he tells it everywhere. Have you ever experienced that are felt as soon as you walked out of a room. You're like, they're talking about me,
Oh,
or
yeah.
somebody's talking about me,
Or walk into a room and everything
and
suddenly gets quiet.
quiet,
Yeah.
and like so. And then they go, and as it says right here, and when he goes, he tells it everywhere. Gossiping, that's a big thing. And of course, the Bible definitely talks about gossiping. And
It says not to do it.
yes. And again, I think we're all guilty at some. We can get caught up if we're not.
Or justify it. Well, I'm not trying to gossip, but I just want to talk to you about what happened. And
Yeah. And another one that happens a lot in the church is, hey, Julie, did you hear about Susie?
yeah,
Susie was like, she's going through this or going through that, but I'm just telling you so we can pray for her.
yes,
Like that, and
yes,
airing out her dirty laundry.
yes,
No, just say, hey, Julie, can you please remember Susie in prayer,
right.
or Jeannie, or whoever, Elizabeth, you know what I mean?
Billy Bob.
Billy Bob. But it's just, that's all you have to say.
Yeah. And
Don't,
I've even been in churches where they'll ask for prayer requests and people use that time to stand up and tell a whole big story about not
yes.
their own life, but somebody else's life, but it's in the prayer request.
And they wrap it in like a prayer request,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that it's asking you to pray for this. Okay, then that's all you have to do.
Yes.
Just remember, Julie, this week, you just need your prayer. God knows.
End of story.
And yeah, and that's it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to go around and gossip and tell everybody and say, well, I just wanted people to know and to pray for her. No, that's gossiping.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to watch your mouth.
Right.
Just shut it up.
Right.
You
Zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket, as I told my pre-Kers.
I mean, of course, this is probably an old cliche too. A lot of people, knows that God gave us 2 ears
Mm-hmm.
and 1 mouth, and 2 ears for listening and one mouth to talk, meaning that we should do more listening
Yes.
than talking.
Yes.
And so even when we hear things personal, we shouldn't be sharing it
Right.
through our mouths,
Right.
and gossiping and bringing it to others. 7, all who hate me whisper together about me. All who hate me. So here's the thing. Gossiping you can be a recruiter, meaning you are trying to recruit others against that person.
Right.
And so it says, all who hate me whisper together about me. So they hold little groups and they talk about so-and-so. And let me tell you, that's how slander, that's how all that gets started. Because then what people don't know about the person or what they're going through, then they add in their own
details.
or vain imaginations, as the Bible talks about. They add in their own details. That's how things get blown out of proportion. And then before long, this poor person's just at home thinking that, going about their life, and then they start all of a sudden hearing rumors, and a lot of these things can be very harmful because, people can lose their jobs, careers, and everything over rumors. Because a lot of people, in our society, it's, you're innocent till proven guilty.
Right.
But in our culture, no,
Guilty
that's guilty until proven innocent. A lot of people believe before they find out all the evidence. They believe what they hear instead of searching and finding the evidence. So you're already condemned. A lot of times, condemned, sentenced, and death.
Right.
By the time that you even hear the verdict, the trial, I mean, the jury even you're done judged and everything. Going on, looking over again, like Julie already read it. Verse 9, even one of my close friends in whom I trusted, who ate my bread.
Sat at his table and ate with him.
That's exactly what it meant. Yep, has lifted his heel against me, betraying me. So even somebody you had in your house, you might have met for dinner. Breaking bread also, is talking about fellowship.
Been there.
So fellowshipping with, having to your house, and someone that a close friend, it even says in verse 9, close friend in whom I trusted, and has lifted up his heel against me, or to betray me. And then, of course, for 10 through 13, he ends it with, that's again what I love about Psalms, is he tells and asks and questions God and pleads for God. And that's another thing. That's one of my pet peeves too. I gotta put it out here. When people's like, some churches like, you don't question God. Did you read your Bible? Did you read through the Psalms? How long will my enemies prosper, God? Where are you? Where are you? How long are you going to allow this to go on? It's like, those are questions he's asking God. But then I love how he would end those and how he's doing it here. And it says, so after verse 9, he talks about even his own friend, close friend that had fellowship in his house and ate bread with him. And then verse 10, but, I just love it. But you, O Lord, Be gracious to me and restore me to health, so that I may repay them. But this I know, that your favor and delight in me, because my enemy does not shout and triumph over me. David's like, even though I'm experiencing this, and even though all this is going on in my life, God, but I know I will get the victory
That's right.
through you
That's right.
and everything. You will not allow this to continue. As for me, here it is. This is why God will allow it to happen or continue to happen to you. If you put your faith and trust in Him and you seek Him for help and for strength and for guidance, in verse 12, and this is why. And as for me, you uphold me in my integrity. In my integrity, meaning God knows us better than
He
anybody
knows
else.
the truth.
He knows the truth. He knows your heart. He knows who you are. He knows what's in you, because of course he made it. He put it all there. So David again is saying, but I know you will uphold my character. You will uphold my integrity, and you set me in your presence forever. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. So this is the thing. David spills out his heart. He's was crying to God, like, I have been betrayed. I have been hurt by a friend, and God, I need your help. And then he still ends it with, but God, I know. David's like crying out because he's like, God, you are my friend that sticketh closer than a brother.
Right.
You know me.
Right. I can trust you.
You know all these things that are being said about me, God. You know these are not true. You know the real me.
Right.
You know my character. You know my integrity. And then he ends it with, God, you will let the truth be revealed. You will bring light to this darkness. You will shut the mouths of the lions that is trying to devour me. You will do all this. And that's what I find so encouraging about the Psalms, is because he pours his heart out, but then he remembers who God is and that God knows him. Again, we talked about this. That's why he's man after God's own heart. And it's because I believe David knew the heart of God. And of course, God knows it. God knows all of our hearts. So do you have anything, go ahead, that you wanted to add? Or say?
Something came to my memory as you were talking about this. There was a time that I was in a place of decisions and was just tormented thinking, but people don't know the truth and I can't say anything about the truth and what is the truth, and just really seeking. And I remember laying in my bed and I was feeling depressed, and I had sang in church before and listened to a song. I love the group Selah, and I had listened to this song so many times, Unredeemed. And the way I looked at that song made me think that he's going to fix all of this. And I was already thinking this is what should happen. But I listened to that song one night as I was laying there in bed, and it hit me in a different light. I have always thought of the word redeemed as fixed, saved, brought back kind of a thing. And in that, God told me it's going to be redeemed in the fact that you don't have to say anything. I will take care of it. I'm going to make it known. You don't have to make anybody understand anything. I'm going to take care of it. And shortly after, I went to a women's Bible study. Speaker was there that I had never met, seen, heard, didn't know from Adam in my life, or Eve, I should say, because it was a woman. And she spoke to me that night. To tell the whole story it's a pretty awesome story, but she spoke to me that night, giving me a word. And when she did, right before that, I was praying and I said, if this woman's for real, and I believe she is, but if she is, let her come back and talk to me about redemption and my kids. Nothing more, nothing less. And she came and spoke to me, and she was hitting the nail so on the head that I couldn't deny it was a word from God. And the friend of mine that was there in charge of this Bible study knew some things, and I looked at her, and her immediate reaction was, I didn't do it, like I didn't say anything. And she talked to me about redemption, but she also said, you're in the middle of a decision. And this woman knew nothing about me. You're in the middle of a decision, and people aren't going to understand, but God knows, and he wants you to know he's got this. And I was like, oh my goodness. And side note, as she turned away, she had me by the hand, and as she turned away, I to myself said, she didn't talk about my kids, and I asked for that, But it was like this. She turned away and she came back in that exact same moment and said, "Do you have kids?" And I looked like you right now with my mouth hanging open. I said, "Yes." And then she talked about my kids and said, "They're gonna be okay. God doesn't want you to worry about them. They've grown up with you and they know you and they know that mom's got this."
Mhm.
And that was that. And I mean, she's a dear friend of mine now, Carmen. But yeah, it was pretty amazing how God spoke to me. God understood. He knew what was in my heart. I hadn't said to anybody on the planet Earth anything about, my struggle within, about nobody's going to understand, nobody knows, I can't say anything, I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
God knew. He sent her to talk to me about the exact thing that I needed to hear.
And that's the God that we serve.
Yep.
And that's the thing when people say, "Oh, God don't speak to us today,"
Yes, he
well,
does.
why wouldn't he?
Yep.
Meaning that, no, listen, I get it. I'm gonna say it, I don't care. There's some whacked out people out there,
Yes, there
and there's some
is.
whacked out Christians
Mm.
that, is like there's a demon under every bush, and God comes down, have Big Macs with Gabriel with
Mhm.
him, and it's like, no, I'm not talking like that. But what I'm talking about is, yes, God utilizes
Right.
ways to
Mhm.
communicate with his children, with his creation. And it can come in a form, yes, it can come from scripture. Absolutely. He can speak through scripture. He can speak through visions, there's many in the third world countries that are having revival
Right.
from visitations of Jesus
Right.
coming to them. God knows how to reach you. That's the thing. God knows what is precious and what is important to you. And if he has to use whatever it is, it could be a book that you're reading, it could be something you're watching on TV, whatever is important to you, he
Mhm.
can use that
Mhm.
to bring out something to you. He could use a person. I've had it happen to me many times. I've been going through things in my life. Of course, with me again being a talker and talking to everybody, my wife's like, "Kevin, you don't meet a stranger," and she's like, "You'll talk to anybody," and it's the truth. But and then they'll just bring like a word, and I'm like, "This person doesn't know me from
Mm-mm.
Adam and Eve, or something." But they'll bring a word that speaks to my situation or speaks to my heart or my
And they may
soul.
not even know that that's what they
That's
just
that
did.
ex
Right. Haven't you ever been
Yes,
somewhere and say you pass someone in a grocery store but that person can't get off your mind and you're thinking, this isn't a specific case, but you think, I need to go back and tell them they're beautiful or you're going to make it, or, if you feel like you're supposed to say something to somebody and it's nagging at you and you still have time, they're still there, go back and do it, because it might be that God's speaking through you
absolutely.
somehow.
This again, I'm not boasting anything at all in me. I boast all in the Lord.
Right.
And my wife, she was here to share because there's so many stories I can share, but we have to be wrapping up here. But one time, my wife and I was walking through the mall, and this lady approached me, and we just started talking. This person shared deep things about her life, think problems in her marriage, problems with her kids, just different health issues. We talked for, I don't know, it was maybe a half hour or something. And we hugged, and I told her I'd be praying for her and everything, and we went our way. And my wife was like, "Why didn't you introduce me to her?" And I said, "Nettie, I never met that woman. I don't know her." And my wife was like, "What? Wait." She's like, "There's no way. She shared things with you." And I said, I never, that's the first time I've ever met her.
You and I are a lot alike. I have stuff like that happen.
And Nettie's was just like, I said, "Nettie, I get this all the time." There was another time I went in to get my hair cut,
Mhm.
and all I asked the lady was, "How are you doing?" That's
And you
it.
got her whole life
And I got
story.
it all, and she was crying, but I minister to her.
Right.
I try
God
to
was using
encourage
you to
her.
minister.
And these are just things that
Mhm.
happens a lot. And I give all glory to God because people tell me, they're like, "Kevin, you're easy to talk to, you're encouraging, and I'm like, it's all God.
Mm.
It's all God. Because I'm like, it's not anything with me.
Right.
But it's just, and I even had to go through that and pray and soul search, like, Lord, why are you bringing these people? And I had a pastor that I talked to about this, and he says, "You have the gift of, I think it's mercy."
Okay.
I think that's what it was. And I looked it up, and more or less, it's like that's what happens. People comes, they can share things with you because God is bringing them to you
Mhm.
to help and minister to them. Then you can't carry their burdens. That's the problem, because they were
Mhm.
on my mind, and then it was like, no, you got to then take them and their problem and lay it at the Lord's feet.
Yes.
And you are like interceding
Mm-hmm.
for them. You're bringing that to the Lord's feet
Mm.
for them. And once I researched that, I'm like, oh, okay. And the pastor told me, because you can't bear that alone. It's too much.
Right.
It's like, it's not meant for you.
Yeah.
It's meant for the Lord.
Right.
But you are a willing vessel that the Lord is utilizing for these people that need help or need somebody to talk to, and they see the Lord in you, and that's why they're coming to talk. So let's have 2 more scriptures, and then we are going to we're going to end. So this is one that I always go to when I have been hurt by a friend. And actually, it's even that you can be hurt by a Christian brother or sister in the Lord too, which is very sad. But listen, the thing is, that's why I tell people, as long as we have flesh,
Mm-hmm.
it's guaranteed. Will I hurt somebody again? Yep. Guarantee in my life, I'll say something or do something that would hurt somebody. I hope and pray that it will not be malicious, but I said, as long as we have flesh,
Yes.
we are not perfect.
No.
But we need to pray that God would help us with those areas of weakness.
Right.
And also we need to remember the fruits of the Spirit: love, kindness, joy, peace, long suffering, patience, temperance. That's something.
Kindness.
Yeah, kindness. And so these are these are things that should be evident in every Christian's life.
Right.
So if you have an area of one of those fruits of the Spirit, I'm trying to think, is that Galatians, the fruits of the
Yeah.
Spirit? Real quick. Yeah, it's Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 and 23. So I just wanted to, this isn't even one of the scriptures I was going to read, but just take a look at this portion of scripture. And this is what should be evident in every Christian's, I'm just going to say every person's life.
Right. And to
I
strive
mean, even though
for.
it's, yes, even though it's fruits of the Spirit, but still we need, every person should strive exactly
Mm-hmm.
to obtain these and to achieve these in our lives and as good as qualities: love, joy, peace, patience or forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That self-control is for every area of our life.
Every area. But when you're speaking to someone, sometimes you just want to take a moment, step back, and think, is it good?
Right.
Is it kind?
Right. Yeah. Does it bring peace? Does it bring joy? Does it bring love? Does it bring goodness to someone, gentleness to someone? Does it boost them in their faith? And then self-control as you're,
As you're speaking.
as you're speaking
Or
it,
listening.
or listening to the person. So self-control is for every area of your life. Spiritual, it goes for if anybody's struggling with addiction. We get it. It's an addiction. But I'm telling you, through God's grace, His mercy, and His strength, He breaks every yoke that
Yep.
binds us.
All the chains.
And He breaks every chain that binds us. So let's end with this. But this is the one that I go to. It's Psalms 55, verses 12 and 14. It says, "For it is not an enemy who taunts me, then I could bear it." He's saying, if it's somebody I don't know,
Right.
I could bear that.
Or someone I already know is against me.
Well, yeah, an enemy. Yeah, he's talking here. If it's an enemy that, okay, I know they're coming at, I know they're talking about me. He says, nor is it one who hated me, who
insolently exalts himself against me.
then I could hide from him. But it is you, a man, my equal, and my counsel, my companion, and my familiar friend. We who had sweet fellowship together and who walked to the house of God in company. It could be somebody. It could be somebody
In your fellowship.
in your fellowship. It could be a brother or sister. And sadly, it can even be a pastor. It could be somebody in leadership. It could be somebody in ministry. Put your faith and trust in, and they can harm you. He's like, yeah, if it was an enemy, I'll expect that from them. But you, and I have turned to this scripture when I've been hurt by deep friends. And it's like, yeah, it's like anybody else, but you
Right.
would do that to me?
You know me.
You know me. And
Right.
everything, like, why would you do that?
And that's the point too, when we have to look past our own hurt and realize that it's a soul problem with that person.
Exactly.
They have a soul issue that they need to take care of. And it's still going to hurt, because you weren't expecting it and it came, and hit you out of left field. But you have to stop and think, okay, you know what? This is a them problem.
Exactly. Right. And the Lord showed me that too, a
Mhm.
lot through life as we mature in the physical and also as we mature in the spiritual,
Right.
and he reveals, more things to us. And that was one of the things that the Lord showed me is like a lot of people has insecurities. And ones that bullied me and picked on me, let me just tell you, but that's probably all that if somebody's bullying or picking on you
Mhm.
or whatever, it's because of their own insecurities. They have
Exactly.
something in their life. They're lacking one of these 9 fruits of the Spirit
Right.
in their
At
life.
least one.
At
Right.
least one, if not more. You want to read Proverbs
I would
18:24?
love to read Proverbs 18:24. A man or woman with many friends may be harmed, but there is a friend who stays closer than a brother.
And who is that friend?
Jesus.
It's Jesus. So, as we're closing, our time is running short here. So, Jesus Christ is the perfect example of what a friend, a true friend, should be.
Yes.
And it takes me to John chapter 15 and verses 13 through 7, right here. That you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last.
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. And so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. This is my command: love each other. That's what a true friend is. And we should be like that. Actually, I know there may be listeners that, are not maybe Christians or,
Right.
and hey, we welcome you here too. Absolutely.
That's right.
And
Hopefully you
everything.
can glean something from this.
Yeah. And we can, you have comments or questions, or maybe you're getting something out of this, but we're to love, to love one another, and especially well, in all areas of our lives. Here are some things, ways that you can be a good friend to someone. So we talked about being hurt and betrayed by friends. Here's how you can be a good friend. You want to read?
Sure.
Yeah,
Time. You can give them your time. You set aside your own agenda and be there for a friend in need.
exactly. And that's one of the things in our society and culture today, and even in my life, is finding time. But take that time out. Send a text to someone. It's one of mine that I found is just being thought of. So somebody sending a text or a message to me, it's like, wow, you took time out of your day with your family, your problems, your work, everything to message that you thought of me.
Mm.
So just take the time.
And sometimes there's somebody that'll come to mind and you'll think, oh, I wonder what they're up to. And you go on about your day. And then the next day they come to your mind again. And then maybe you see something or hear something that has their name in it. It's like, okay, God is really
Really
telling
telling me,
you,
yes.
you need to contact this person. And sometimes there's been times in my life that I'll do that. I'll reach out to that person and they're like, oh my gosh, you have no
No
idea
idea.
how I needed that right now. I just needed to hear that. There have been other times that I've done that and crickets. But there have been times too that I didn't follow through and end up regretting that.
I have to.
There was an
Many times.
older
Yeah.
neighbor of mine,
Sadly.
that was in a nursing home. And every time I would drive down the street, where the road went for the nursing home, I would think about her. And it happened a lot in a certain week. And I kept thinking, man, I really need to go see her. I really need to reach out. And I didn't do it. I got too busy and she ended up passing away before I ever could do it. And, I still live with that I should have gone to see her. I should have made that effort. So if you're feeling like somebody's on your mind, okay, first time, you just let it pass because we have memories and people might come up from the past or, our life that we think about and then it goes away. But if it doesn't go away, it comes back a second or a third time, go get your booty over and
Yeah. Yeah.
visit or
Yeah.
send a card or
Yeah.
send a
Seriously.
text
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
pick up
Absolutely.
the phone and call
Yeah,
them.
the God's laying them on your heart for a reason. So some people might be like, well, can't God just take care of it? Yes.
But he's using you to
But
do it.
he's utilizing you to do that. Next is forgiveness. How can you be a good friend? Forgiveness. This is going to be a whole podcast in
Oh,
itself.
we need to do one on this.
Releasing grudges and forgiving someone who has wronged you. Since we're talking about betrayal of a friend, being hurt by a friend, forgive. And let me just tell you, and you've heard this, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Forgiveness is never about the other person.
No.
It's not. It is releasing you from the chains of bitterness, resentment, hurt, betrayal, all these things that we've talked about, it is releasing you from even a root of bitterness getting into your heart that can draw you away from God, because then you start dwelling on it. It plants a seed, and then it starts growing and growing, and then it can turn into eventually hate.
Mhm. What do they say? Forgiveness is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die or
Die.
get sick. Yeah.
Exactly. So please, forgiveness is not about the other person. You don't have to call and tell the other person, I forgive you, unless, because sometimes they might not even know what you're
Upset about,
upset about. They might not even know they hurt you. And that's happened.
but you've just been carrying it
You've
around.
been carried around.
Yeah.
Listening, we've already touched on that. Actively listening to a friend's concerns, which helps you understand their needs. I love that.
Yeah.
Their concerns to help you understand their needs.
Right.
And then their needs is areas where you can bring Christ into their need, to
Right.
meet their need
Right.
and things. So listen to them. It might not be something you might be interested in. It might not be something that you find enjoyment or pleasure in talking about or anything,
Or
but
even have any expertise in to help them, but listening goes a
listening
long
is a
way.
long way. Goes a
Mhm.
long way. And the other one is presence. Just making yourself know, being there, just showing up sometimes is all that a person needs.
Mhm.
It's just like, I just need somebody to sit here and just sit here and listen. And I'm not expecting you necessarily to maybe even comfort or console me or whatever, but just listen.
Mm.
That's the thing too in our world, is a lot of people don't have anybody to talk to. You know, they just have people they don't feel like they can trust or anything. Just having somebody they can just share
Right.
something with. I don't need no advice. I don't need to be lectured. I don't need to hear all these scriptures.
Need you
I
to
just need you
listen
to
and be
listen
here.
and just be here, be present.
Right. Generosity, being willing to help with chores, offer advice, or provide support even when it's inconvenient to you.
Correct. And it could be even helping your widowed neighbor that needs help or can't do things.
Right.
Just be generous
Right.
to someone. Be kind.
Right.
That's it. You know, pay it forward.
Go that extra
Go
little
that.
mile to do something that you know if you were going through something, you would appreciate if somebody
That's
did
it.
for you. That's how my mom told me to give gifts. She said, just get something that you know you would like
There you go.
and give it to them.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
do that for somebody else. Say, if I'm sick or under the weather and I'm struggling right now to just make ends meet and take care of the house and do all this, would have loved it if somebody came and they just cooked me a meal. Well, go do that for somebody.
Absolutely. A neighbor or whoever. Last one is, we talked about gossip, and it's refraining from spreading rumors or hurtful gossip, even when it might be tempting.
And it is.
It is tempting.
We
It
as
can be.
humans love to know the dirt, spill the tea.
Yeah, the
You
spill
know?
the tea. That's what it's over here in America. Spill the tea. What's the tea?
Yes.
And so we hope that you got something from this today. Please let us know. We want to hear from you.
Yes, we do.
If you're sitting there and you're listening to this and you're like, I'd like to, ask a question, or, you know, Kevin, Julie, you said something that hit my spirit or whatever. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, you can even send us a private message on our Facebook group, can't they?
Yes, I believe they can. In our
Okay.
Facebook groups, Scripts and Giggles.
It would come just to us, and we'd be happy to listen.
Yes, and if anybody has any other topics or whatever, anything that you would like us to talk about, if you have any questions, if you have a scripture that you want to ask about, or something you didn't understand, or just something in your life, or whatever that you would like us to talk about, please,
Yeah.
we want to hear. We love people. We love corresponding with people, and we will read it and get back to you.
There's a poll on our Facebook group right now. If you go there, it talks about what you would like to hear more of.
Correct.
So you
The-
could even go there and just vote for what you want to do. And do they have the option to add
See,
something in?
I think I did leave that on there.
Okay.
I think so.
I don't remember. We'll make it that way if
we're
it is.
still we're still learning all this stuff too.
You're a baby podcaster.
Yeah, but again, God bless you. You all be encouraged, be blessed, and thank you again for all your love and support.
We love you.
Love you, and until next week, be blessed and encouraged.
Bye.
Bye.